Spectrum Discover provides insight to vast amounts of unstructured data on premises and in the cloud, and enables organizations to manage their data more effectively. Spectrum Discover decreases storage capital expenditure and provides an immediate, measurable return on investment by performing analytics on your unstructured data to quickly and easily identify aged data that can be moved off the primary storage, as well as potentially duplicate data that is not relevant to the organization that, in some cases, can be removed altogether. Spectrum Discover reduces storage operating expenditure by improving storage administrator productivity and streamlining unstructured data management with capabilities such as custom tagging aligned to organizational constructs or taxonomies, as well as generating customized capacity showback reports. Spectrum Discover also reduces the risk associated with unstructured data stores by providing the ability to automatically inspect and classify data to aid in addressing data governance policies. Spectrum Discover increases AI and data science productivity by unifying data silos so that researchers and data scientists can find the file and object data wherever it resides, whether on-premises or in the cloud. It simplifies and accelerates data curation and preparation and reduces time to accuracy and results. This video describes how to deploy the IBM Spectrum Discover virtual appliance in a VMware ESXi server. The first step is to download the Spectrum Discover trial virtual appliance from the IBM Marketplace. If working remotely, it is recommended to download the virtual appliance onto a machine located in the same data center as a target VMware ESXi server to leverage optimal network bandwidth availability. Click on the 90-day free trial link. If you have an existing IBM ID, click on the login link at the top. Otherwise, fill in the required information in the panel in order to create an IBM ID. After logging in, provide your input for business partner and contact preferences and click Continue. Click the Spectrum Discover Trial button to begin the download process. You may also join the Slack workspace to get support during your Spectrum Discover trial period. You can leverage the Spectrum Discover Knowledge Center to guide you through step-by-step through the deployment and configuration process. The Planning section contains a single-node trial planning worksheet that can be leveraged to ensure the appropriate resources are made available for your Spectrum Discover trial deployment. Time to deploy the virtual appliance varies according to the customer environment. If deploying the virtual appliance from a machine that is already on the same network as the ESXi server, it can take approximately 30 minutes to an hour to deploy. This demonstration uses the vCenter console. After logging into the vCenter console, click on the ESXi server that you want to host the Spectrum Discover virtual appliance on and select Actions, Deploy, OVF Template. Browse to the virtual appliance location and select it. Provide a meaningful name for your virtual appliance and click Next. Ensure you have selected the appropriate ESXi server and click Next. Review the details and click Next. Select the storage device where you want the virtual appliance to be deployed. Optionally, select a different disk provisioning format, such as Thin Provision, and click Next. Ensure you have the appropriate network selected and click Next. Review the details and click Finish. After the virtual appliance is deployed, the next step is to customize the configuration by adding a virtual drive for the persistent message queue and a virtual drive for the database. To determine the required size for these virtual drives, leverage the planning section in the Spectrum Discover Knowledge Center based on the number of files and objects to be indexed. You can also post your questions in the IBM Spectrum Discover Slack channel. In this example, we are allocating a 100 GB hard disk for the persistent message queue and a 100 GB hard disk for the database, which will support indexing up to approximately 100 million files and objects. This can be increased to support up to 2 billion files and objects in a single node. Select the Spectrum Discover virtual machine, and then select Actions, Edit Settings. Select Add New Device, and then select Hard Disk. Enter the desired size for your new hard disk. In this case, we specify 100 gigabytes. You can optionally specify the disk provisioning, such as thick provision leaves you zeroed or thin provisioning, and then also specify the location or data store where you want this virtual disk to reside. Now we need to add another new device for the database. Go to Add New Device, Hard Disk, specify the size, optionally change the location, it is recommended to use SSD storage for the database, and optionally change the disk provisioning requirements. Next, we can modify the CPU and memory requirements. By default, the Spectrum Discover virtual appliance will support indexing up to 1 billion files with 16 CPUs and 128 gigabytes of memory. In our case, we can shrink these requirements. Since we're only indexing 100 million files, we can drop the memory to 64 gigabytes, which is a minimum required, and also drop the CPU count down to 8. After customizing the VM, click OK to save the settings. After the VM has been customized, turn it on and open the remote console. Once it boots, log in with the default credentials of moadmin and password with a capital P and a 0. Change to the opt IBM MetaOcean configuration directory and run the mmconfig appliance utility. You are first prompted to accept the license. After you are satisfied with the license, click A to accept. Next, you must enter a fully qualified domain name for your virtual appliance. The fully qualified domain name must be resolvable in the DNS server in order for Spectrum Discover to run properly. Next, enter the IP address for your VM. Then select the adapter that you want to use. Enter the net mask. Enter your gateway IP. Enter the DNS server. And then enter the NTP server IP or hostname. Specify single for the installation type, and optionally specify a time zone other than UTC. Review the changes, and when you are happy with them, select Yes. Specify a new password for the moadmin user. Loading the ICP Docker images may take some time to complete. Please be patient as this is continuing to process in the background. Similarly, loading and configuring the DB2 warehouse component may take some time to complete. Please be patient as this is processing in the background. When the configuration is complete, you will see a screen output similar to the one shown here. After you have completed the configuration of your Spectrum Discover instance, the next step is to log into the Spectrum Discover GUI and add your data sources to which you want to gain insights from.